Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to today's event. I'm Ace, popularly known as Aziz Day, and I'm happy to be your host for today's program. As you all know, or if you don't know, I'm also the mentorship program lead, and I'm happy to have amazing people join me live for this event. So we have amazing mentors, we have amazing mentees, and I believe we're all gonna have a wonderful event. So without no further ado, let's get started. So welcome to the AsyncAPI's 2024 mentorship program. Like I said earlier, I'm Ace, I'm the program lead, and I'm happy to host this wrap-up program. So with me today, just to be sure that I'm presenting what I'm supposed to present, I'm just giving a few seconds. Awesome. So I already made a quick introduction about myself. Aziz Eligbede, popularly known as Ace. I lead the mentorship program at AsyncAPI. And with me today, I have the AsyncAPI community marketing lead, Oluwa Bamike. So I'm going to bring Bamike up stage to introduce yourself.
Okay,
Hey,
okay. Hi.
how you doing?
I'm great.
Do you mind introducing yourself to the community?
Yes, definitely. Hi everyone. Bami Oluwabami Kemi Kayode, but everybody calls me Bami. So uh I am the marketing lead, yes. The community marketing specialist at Async API. And I'm very, very honored to be doing this with Ace. So yes, we're super excited to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for the amazing introduction, Bami. Yes, I'm super excited to be here also hosting this wrap-up program. And I know we have amazing audiences, joining us live from across the globe. So if you have any question, feel free to use YouTube. Feel free to leave us comment on YouTube. We are actively keeping an eye out for interesting comments. So we have a couple of interesting people greeting us. We have Techman. Hello, Techman. Thanks for joining. Looking forward to a wonderful event. So let's get started by saying why mentorship. Why do we do mentorship at AsyncAPI, especially the AsyncAPI mentorship program? We do mentorship program because we love giving back to the community. I remember back in 2021 when we got rejected for the 2022 when we got rejected for the AsyncAPI Google Summer of Code program, right? It wasn't the best experience for us, especially the fact that we love participating in Google Summer of Code and we have interesting contributors always looking forward to join Async API for Google Summer of Code. But unfortunately, we did not get selected. And then we decided, what should we do, right? We have amazing contributors already lined up. We have mentors already showing interest to, mentor for our Google Summer of Code participation. But then the news hit us, right? We got rejected. And that is why we came together as a community and say, you know what? We don't have to wait for Google Summer of Code to participate in mentorship programs, right? We have a vibrant community of mentors, we have a vibrant community of mentees, we have a vibrant community of contributors, and we also have a vibrant community in general, right? So why not just host our own mentorship program? So that is why we started the Async API mentorship program. So what caught our interest, right? It is not the tech, but the people, like I said earlier, the mission, the need. So at Async API, we value the community. Yes, I know we have awesome tech, we have awesome products, we have awesome toolings, and we have awesome people, right? But it is not the toolings and not the technology that actually caught our attention, but actually the contributors, the community, the people, the mission, and the need for building a really vibrant community. And also, it's not just the people, but the relationship, right? So establishing a good relationship is one of the reasons why we decided to, kickstart our own mentorship program. And this can be you too, right? So anyone can participate in a secure mentorship program, regardless of race, gender, nationality, anything, right? We are totally diverse, right? So we don't really look at where you're from or whatever it is you think might be the reason for you not to qualify for the mentorship program. But yeah, except you have to be over 18. So that is the only requirement to participate in the AsyncAPI mentorship program. Yes, so that this could be you. You could come participate in the mentorship program with us at AsyncAPI, right? This could be you. So at the SyncAPI, at the SyncAPI mentorship program, we have a lot of tools at the SyncAPI, right? So we try to, get contributions in all of our diverse set of tools, right? So you might have project ideas coming from websites, you might have project ideas coming from community repo, you might have project ideas coming from the spec itself, and you can also have project ideas coming from the SyncAPI documentations. Like I said earlier, so it's not a coder's world, right? I said you can have project ideas coming from different aspects of the AsyncAPI initiative, not just coding related project ideas, right? We can have project ideas coming from design. So if you're really good at design and you love open source, you can come participate in our AsyncAPI mentorship program and come contribute your design skill. So we do documentation contributions and we do design contributions, right? It's not just code. So if you want to be a part, make outstanding contribution. So I see a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to do a mentorship program. I want to do mentorship program at AsyncAPI. You want to do mentorship program at AsyncAPI." But we're not just choosing. Mentors are not just selecting any kind of contributors, right? So mentors want contributors that understand the mission and the need to be mentored, right? So mentors want mentees or candidates or contributors that really understand the mission. So if you want to join the AsyncAPI mentorship program, you need to start making outstanding contribution. So, and I'm saying outstanding contribution, I'm saying don't wait for the program commencement, right? I know a lot of people do this a lot. They wait for when the program is about to start, and then they come flooding into Slack and saying, hey, I want to do mentorship program, right? So they start submitting an application. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be so interested and come into the community to come do mentorship program with us. But what I'm trying to say is mentors are always looking for folks that are already contributing, that are already doing outstanding contribution to select for their project, right? So if you come to the AsyncAPI community to do a mentorship program and you just come in doing the mentorship program commencement, right? You might get selected, but the odds of getting selected is pretty low. So you really want to start making outstanding contributions before the program commencement. So, like I said earlier, making outstanding contribution basically summarizes to familiarizing yourself with the project itself, right? We have, like I said earlier, we have a vast set of tools at AsyncAPI. So you might want to go through the list of our available tools we have in our AsyncAPI repository and basically get one or two and familiarize yourself with the project, right? This could be the AsyncAPI website, it could be the AsyncAPI community repo, this could even be the AsyncAPI design system, right? Choose a project, get yourself familiarized with the project, and start making outstanding contributions. But talking about making outstanding contributions, what do I mean? Be clear about your process, right? A lot of people just come to AsyncAPI and say, oh, because they want to participate in any of our mentorship program, maybe Google Summer of Code or maybe the AsyncAPI mentorship program, they just come to the AsyncAPI mentorship program and they just come to the project and start doing really, really interesting things. Like, they start flooding pull requests, they start creating unnecessary issues. They try to do everything just to show how active they are. But this is not really the best way to go. So you should just be clear about your process. And talking about be clear about your process is what I mean. To make a successful pull request, there are a couple of things involved. First, you need to go through the AsyncAPI or the project contribution guide. So not even most, all the projects in the AsyncAPI repository have a contribution guide. So it is important for you to go through this guide before actually making any contribution. Issues. So before you start contributing to AsyncAPI or any other AsyncAPI project, it's important for you to go through the available list of issues. I see a lot of contributors, just because they want to participate in the mentorship program, they just go and start creating issues that are really unnecessary. And the bad thing is this actually pisses maintainer off, right? Maintainers have a lot of things going on already. They don't want to deal with your unnecessary issues. So go through the issues. If you don't have, if you don't see any issues you can fix, or you eventually have an issue suggestions, it's important for you to start a discussion around that issue, right? So if you have this, start a discussion around that issue, or you found an issue you're really interested in, so it's important for you to like have a conversation around the issue. Don't just go straight, submitting a pull request for that issue and not actually saying if maybe the issue is up for take, or asking the maintainers and permission to take up the issue. And once you have this issue already picked and you have a discussion around the issue, and maybe the maintainer already told you, oh, you know what, you can go work on the issue, right? So the next thing you want to do is set up your development environment, right? Or I believe everyone can do that. Then start coding. So I don't mean start coding, just coding. Like I said earlier, we do all sort of contributions. So maybe what you're interested in is not actually coding related. You can, maybe it's design related, you can start designing, or maybe it is documentation, you can start writing the docs. And then open an initial pull request. And I know this a lot. So if you are one of the contributors that always want, mentees or maintainers, and not mentees, maintainers to, review that pull request immediately they open their pull request, I'm sorry to break it to you, it doesn't work that way, right? Maintainers have a lot of things going on for them. Like I said earlier, maintainers have life outside of AsyncAPI. Maintainers have, jobs, and maintainers have all sorts of things going on. A lot of the AsyncAPI maintainers actually have full-time commitment outside of open source, right? But they still find time to actually maintain some of these projects and push new changes and review pull requests. So if you open your initial pull request, please take your time, or give the maintainers grace to review your pull request. Don't go, sending them DMs about, oh, hey, Ace, I opened a pull request, can you review it? Maintainers can see, right? That is why they are maintainers. They can see every pull request, they can see every issues, and I promise you, they're going to attend to these issues as soon as possible. So once you've opened your initial pull request and you've gotten your reviews on your pull request, it's important for you to take suggested changes that have been made by maintainers or other contributors reviewing your pull request. So once these suggestions have been created, you have to take these suggestions, iterate and improve. So if you are one of the mentees or one of the interested contributor that want to like come to AsyncAPI but cannot take feedback, sorry to break it to you, it doesn't work that way, right? So when a maintainer reviews your code or your initial PR, it's important for you to take these suggested feedbacks and implement them. So it is not just for the sake of the project, but it is also for your growth, right? Maintainers have been maintaining this project for quite a long time, so they actually know their due. So that is the process for contributing to AsyncAPI. The next thing you want to do is also attend community meetings and talk. So we have a lot of events happening at AsyncAPI, especially the community meeting. So we host a bi-weekly community meeting at AsyncAPI, and it's also one of the ways for contributors to be and feel part of the community, right? So if you want to be a part of the community, it's not just contributing code, it's also attending community meetings. Community meetings are important and they are essential to the community because at the end of the day, it's community meeting. And the beautiful thing about community meeting is it is scheduled in advance, right? So if you are interested in coming or in attending a community meeting, you can literally see the agenda before the meeting starts. And the coolest thing is not just the agenda, you can also add to the agenda. So if you are a contributor, you can also like decide to say, oh, you have something to say, you can just literally add what you want to say in the community meeting on the agenda list. And the cool thing is you'll be given the spotlight, you'll be given the opportunity to talk during the community meeting. And that way you're already part of the community, right? It's not just coding, it's also being part of the community. And this is the most important part, right? Be kind. That is why the AsyncAPI has the code of conduct. So like I always tell people, before you start contributing to any open source project, right? Not just AsyncAPI, any open source project, it is important for you to go through the code of conduct, right? And the code of conduct is not there just to protect the community, it is also to protect you yourself, right, from being bullied. So if you join the AsyncAPI community, or if you're just joining, or if you're joining because you're interested in the mentorship program or the mentorship program or Google Summer of Code, it is important you go through the code of conduct. It is a no-brainer, I promise you. So that is everything about why we do mentorship and how to participate in the mentorship. But today we are actually wrapping up the AsyncAPI mentorship program 2024. And I know you're like, but wait, Ace, what do you mean 2024? We're in 2025, right? So why are we wrapping up 2024 in 2025? Yeah, we are doing that. It is happening because the AsyncAPI mentorship program doesn't have a fixed timeline. So we have an estimated timeline, but we don't have a fixed timeline. So because we have a lot of projects with different complexities and different evaluations, so some projects took longer than expected. So that is why we are having the mentorship program wrap up in 2025. So basically, it is 2024 mentorship program. So forget about the year thing. Saying 2025, 2024, it has nothing to do with 2025. It's just the program lap time. So the 2024 program was an amazing program. We had a lot of highs and lows, but at the end of the day, we actually had a successful program. So this is like the mentees outcome by project type. So you can see we have successful mentees in the code section. Like I said earlier, at AsyncAPI, we have diverse set of projects, right, for mentorship program. Unlike Google Summer of Code, where you only see mostly coding related projects, the AsyncAPI mentorship program is totally different, right? The mentorship program doesn't just focus on the coding aspect of things. It also focuses on different part of the initiative, right? So because coding alone don't just make up for the program, right? We have documentations, right? Without the documentation, you wouldn't even know how to use the tools. But at the end of the day, people are writing this documentation. So we also have documentation projects. We also have design. So if you've been going to the AsyncAPI website, you will see really amazing design, like the AsyncAPI mascots. People design this, right? So we also have design projects. So we have diverse set of projects in the AsyncAPI mentorship program. And you can see by the outcome of last year for the coding project, we out of 5 participants, we have 4 who successfully passed both evaluation phases. And for the design, we only had one mentee for the design, in which he did an amazing job and successfully passed both evaluation. For technical writing, we have 3 amazing mentees, but only 2 of these mentees were able to successfully participate in the program, and one failed the program. But the cool thing about the docs program is even though they have 3 mentees and 2 successfully passed, but the 2 mentees, thanks to their mentors, did an amazing job that they covered the lapses of the failed mentee. So they left nothing behind. So in my book, that is still a win, right? But nothing comes for free, right? Even though we have an amazing program, we also have some challenges we face during the program. And some of these challenges we face is actually lack of proper program documentation. So this is the 3rd edition of the AsyncAPI mentorship program, and we still don't have a proper mentorship documentation, right? Which suck, I know, but that is one of the challenges we faced, right? The lack of proper program documentation means mentees and mentors always have to reach out to the program organizers for questions or for answers, right? They always reach out to the organizers if they have any questions. They always reach out to the organizers if they have doubts. But that is not good, right? The organizer shouldn't be the point of contact for an interesting program like this. The organizer being the point of contact for an organization like this basically means whenever one of the organizers are out or whenever the organizers are not available, the mentors and the mentees have to wait, right? They basically have to stop whatever it is they're doing and wait to hear back from the organizers. So this is really bad, and we actually experienced this, right? This is one of the challenges we faced during these cohorts, right? And the second challenge we also face is the vagueness of program timeline, right? So as you already see, we are celebrating the 2024 program wrap up in 2025. That already says something about the program timeline. So because we don't have a strict timeline, we just said, you know what, programs timeline can vary, and we experienced a challenge where mentees decided not to do anything during the start of the program because they believe they have enough time, right? So they didn't have that sense of urgency. So that became a challenge for us. So mentors have to constantly, reach out to these mentees to get updates. And the mentees were really relaxed because there was no strict timeline. And they were like, there's still time, right? So they basically didn't do anything. And thanks to the activeness of the mentors, we were able to push these mentees to actually get started. So some of the key milestones for these cohorts is actually interesting. So we've spoken about some of the challenges we faced, but we actually made some success. I mean, not even some, we mostly made success. So as you can see, this is a chart for the mentorship program. right? So this chart I'm showing you is actually for the first evaluation, which is basically the first phase of the program. And you can see how the performance of the mentees look like from this chart. And the question says, how would you rate your mentees' performance? And you can see mentors actually rated their mentees highly, except from few, right? So you can see from the chart, we have very good. Most of the mentors rated their mentees very good. And we have some mentors who rated their mentees as excellent. That is really interesting. But we also have some mentees who rated their mentees satisfactory. But based on the chart, you can see we have more very good mentees, right? So if you're one of the mentees that got an excellent from their mentors, special shout out to you. You did an amazing job. And you can also see the skills and responsiveness from mentees based on mentors, right? So a lot of mentees were actually really, really responsive. So this is something really interesting. So we can also see in the next chart how many a percentage of mentees actually completed the task for their project in the first evaluation. We can see 100% of the mentees actually successfully passed, successfully completed their project during the first evaluation. And we can see 81.8% of mentees passed the first evaluation. Only 18.2% was maybe, right? So the mentors were not really sure, but they were willing to give the mentees another shot during the second evaluation. But no mentee failed the first evaluation, which is pretty solid. And we can see, okay, I think I already went through this. And we can see for the first evaluation, we can see also the chart for how effective the program structure is. So this part is really important for the sake of the program, right? So we have to make sure we have this part so we can know how to structure the program for future cohorts. And you can see a lot of mentees totally agree with the current structure for the program. And we have some mentees that strongly agree, and some mentees basically just stay neutral. But the good thing is we don't have any mentee that disagreed with the current structure of the program. I know this chart looks really positive, but that is not an excuse for us to, sit back and feel relaxed because everything looks good. We still have to strive for success. So next cohort, we're going to be introducing some amazing structure to make the program more effective. And this is what the chart looks like for the final evaluation. So the question says, does your mentee the project goals and milestone after and at the beginning of the project? And you can see 80% of the mentees actually did meet the program project goals, right? And only 10% did not meet the project expectation, and 10% is somehow, right? And we can see in the chart below, we can see the number or the percentages of mentees that demonstrate ownership and accountability over their projects. So we can see 80%. That is good. That is a big number, right? So 80% of the mentees actually showed accountability and ownership for their projects, and just 10% somehow, but 10% sometimes, right? So at the end of the day, we don't have any mentee that did not show accountability and ownership over the projects they are contributing to. For the final evaluation chart, you can also see how open were they at receiving feedback. 90% of the mentees that participated in this program were totally open at receiving feedback, but 10% was mildly open. I don't know who you are in the 10%, but you could do better. So we can also see in the final evaluation chart how mentors rated their mentee overall performance. You can see a lot of mentors rated their mentees very good, and some rated their mentees excellent. And you can also see only few rated their mentees poor, right? Which is not good, but according to the statistics, a lot of mentees did good. And based on the skills and responsiveness, you can see a lot of mentors agree to their mentees' responsiveness. And I think another chart we ought to see is for the final evaluation, 80% of mentees completed their project, while 10% did not complete their project. And you can see there was a comment that said the project was completed autonomously at its own pace, which is one of the reasons I mentioned earlier about the vagueness of timeline. And only 10% did not complete their project. So we can also see there's a chart that says, would you recommend your mentee for future roles, such as triagers and maintainers? And 60% agreed. 60% of mentors agreed to, recommend their mentees to be triagers in their projects or be maintainers in the project. And 10% already said, I already did offer him to stay as triager, but the project showed him it is too early for him and he lacks too much knowledge and it is not interested and is not interested in deep dive. So this is really optional, not really recommended. And we say 10% not make call. So we have 10% maybe when they have time to commit. So this is actually a good number. Only 10% said no, right? So, but the good thing is 60% of mentees, 60% of mentees are recommended by their mentor for future roles, such as maintainers or triages. And the final evaluation, you can see 90% of mentors said they are going to pass their mentees. That is good. So 90% of the mentors said they're going to pass their mentees. These are good numbers, right, for the 2024 cohort. And for the final evaluation structure, we can see the program structure and effectiveness. A lot of mentors totally agree, strongly agree with the program structure and effectiveness. So you can see numbers don't lie, right? So if you are still doubting about the effectiveness of the AsyncAPI mentorship program, the numbers are there, right? Numbers don't lie. So you can see how effective the mentorship program is for 2024. And so if you're looking forward to the next cohort, I would advise you to prepare. So before we go on a quick short break, we are going to bring our mentees one after the other to talk about the project and probably show you some demos. So I'm going to go behind stage. Bami would be the one leading these sessions. So we're going to go backstage for a few minutes, for 3 minutes, and then come back up stage with our first mentee.
All right. We are back. Um, we are back, and right now we have folks joining us. Okay. Hello, Civic. Hello, Irish. Thank you for joining me upstage. Hi, Irish. It's good to see you. Hi, Civic. Can you also say hi? Can oh, Civic.
Hi.
Are you?
Hi. Hi, Mami.
Okay. Hi. Good to see you. I mean, thanks for joining us today.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks for having us.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So, Ayush, can you quickly introduce yourself? Just introduce yourself. Yeah, don't talk about your project. Just introduce yourself. Oh, Ayush, please start again.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Ayush. So I'm currently working for Red Hat as a software engineer. So apart from is like I've been contributing in AsyncAPI from the last 2 years. I started as a contributor, then got the opportunity to work as in the AsyncAPI mentorship program. Also currently I'm working as a Google Summer Code mentor and for this summer.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Hi, Civic.
Hi.
Yes, can you quickly
So I
introduce yourself?
maintain. Yeah, sure. So I maintain CLI and bundler currently, and I have been maintaining. I've been contributing to Async API. I think from 2021. Yeah, the end of 2021 till now. And initially, I was also working at Postman, maintaining a single full time. But now I like work on it during my like I get free time and I work on it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I'm very much aware that Civic, you are the maintainer for the project Ayush contributed to for this mentorship program. So, um, quickly, can you tell us about this project and you know
Uh,
how the contribution process was?
sure. So for us, there were like a couple of issues that I tackled, mostly to improve, user support for CLI, and well, it was very fun working with him. Like he's very, how do I say it? Like he comes up with ideas and pushes. Like he reaches me out and like he's proactive. Like I don't have to bug him to do stuff. He does it and then he bugs me to be like review it and stuff. So yeah, it was fun working with him. You don't have to like I don't like managing and stuff, and he's really good in that way. Like I don't have to tell him anything. So yeah, and he's also very
Awesome,
intelligent and figures out stuff. And conveying ideas between each other is very nice. So that was a very good experience for me as well.
awesome. Okay, that's super amazing. Ayush, I mean, this like phrases, right? Super intelligent. We love to see that. So, can you tell us about the project you contributed to, and then the contribution process for you?
Yeah, so basically, like I started my journey in AsyncAPI from the AsyncAPI CLI. So I started with from very basic ideas or basic bugs. So I started solving, well, after solving some kind of good first issues, I came up from good enhancement and feature request. So I scrap all kind of the issues and sync with Sovic and other maintainers and to understand like whether the issues or the enhancement are valid or not. And luckily the AsyncAPI mentorship would going to be happen. So I submitted a craft a mentorship project completely for this mentorship and submitted, and fortunately the project got selected. Got selected for the, as a mentor. You are on mute.
Yes, I was speaking. It usually just happen every time. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So, what was like a big blocker that you had while you were doing your contribution? Something that really stood out as a big blocker to you?
Yeah, so during my mentorship time, there was one enhancement to enable the proxy support in the AsyncAPI CLI. So for this feature, I basically I was referring some another kind of approach that is basically storing the all kind of variables in and passing to a value. But instead of so we suggested another way to using a third party library, so we can easily support a proxy. So this is one of the major blocker that I got in during my mentorship period time.
Awesome, awesome. Now, Savik, I have heard you praise Ayush a lot, say it's intelligent and it's proactive and all of those things. Super sweet. What would you say is the proudest moment for you when you while mentoring Ayush?
uh, during my well, the thing is, with Ayush, it was really good that we didn't have to have a lot of meetings. Like I hate meetings, and like Ayush and we used to like meet up twice, once in 2 weeks and stuff, and we used to like discuss all of the stuff that was blocked or what he needed understanding and stuff. And that was a very good process. Instead of like having to meet every time, it was better to communicate over Slack and get things done. That was really good. And now we maintain CLI together, so that is also a very good thing for me. Like I get the opportunity to work with him to maintain CLI. Uh, Bani,
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. Yes. I think I have one more question for you, Silvik. The question is, how does this mentorship program shape you as a mentor, like as a maintainer, and also as a mentor? How does this program, while mentoring, um, are you shaped your own leadership skills and maintenance skills as well?
sure. So in the process, I mean, before, like when I started, so I was just mostly doing bug fixes and seeing what other people like. I review other people's code, but now it's basically it's like, how do you say it? So we now focus more. I now focus more on triaging and stuff. So what I do is like I batch issues and like, how is it? I triage it, batch it out, and the things I mark it with the things that I am gonna work on, and the things that how to delegate to other people, because like now that we don't have a lot of time give to Async API and work on CLI, it's really hard to do a lot of things on your own. So that is what I learned to delegate. And iOS also helped me because like when I delegate something to him, I know that it's gonna be done or he's taking care of it. I don't have to take tension on that. So that is something I learned working with him. So the delegation, I guess, that is what I learned.
Amazing, amazing. Yes, it is sweet to hear all the stories, but it will not be very sweet if we do not show the whole audience what Ayush actually worked on and the projects we all are actually proud of right now. So,
Sure.
Ayush, you have the floor to present your screen and show us. You can take us through the project you worked
Yeah,
on.
just a second. Let me open the window for this. So, is my screen visible?
Not yet. Okay, yes, we can see it now.
Yeah. So basically, the one of the first issue that I had completed during my mentorship period of time is basically creating a new command that will format a AsyncAPI document. So this is a new command we have introduced in my mentorship period time, because generally we faced a problem like we'd have to format a AsyncAPI document scap, like we don't have any kind of formatter that will automatically format the AsyncAPI document. So because whenever we write a spec, sometimes we miss the some kind of indentation, like some kind of we put the extra indentation. So we, in order to follow a suitable developer experience, schema, I introduce a small command that will automatically format the AsyncAPI spec. So it will very very helpful to increase the developer experience to like enable or increasing the usage of the CLI. So this is the first enhancement or feature that I developed during my mentorship period of time. So second thing is to enable the proxy support. So basically, like there are lots of many commands that in the currently CLI that will interact with the internet. So basically, but sometimes what happened, there is some kind of proxy has been set up in the background. So due to this, we have to I enable proxy support in multiple CLI commands. So due to this, now the user can able to access the CLI from the backward direction of the internet as well without any kind of problem. And the third, like most important thing that I have introduced in the during my period of the mentorship, we're basically creating a documentation. The documentation is not kind of simple documentation, but I have created a documentation that provide what is the structure of the AsyncAPI CLI. So basically, it is important for the newcomers to understand the how what are the different architect that we are currently present in the CLI there, so that users can able to understand the current scenario and what is the usage of the single command. So I have written the use case of every single command and created as the suitable structure so that anyone new come to AsyncAPI or started contributing to AsyncAPI CLI, so it would be good for him or her to understand the CLI part so easily. So I created a complete architect for the CLI. So this is basically the work that I have completed during my mentorship period of time.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
Ayush, can you hear me? Okay, cool. Okay, thank you so
yeah, yeah,
much
yeah.
for presenting that and showing us the amazing work and telling us about the amazing work that you worked on. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. So,
Thank you.
if you're going to like, give an advice to anybody that wants to participate in the next mentorship program that is very soon coming, what advice would you give them?
So the one advice is to start contributing the SNKPI. So it is very fun for you, like to you will see a good one of the best organization you will see in like contributing in open source, and you will get a very good community to support any kind of like broker day you will face. And there are lots of ideas are still present, and start contributing, grab all the ideas, discuss with your maintainers, and get ready for the mentorship program.
Okay. So do you have any, were you alone in your team? Were you the only one in your team?
uh, Sorry, I didn't hear.
Were you the only one in your team, or you have like team members? I'm asking because I want you to give shout out to your team members and your
Yeah, so basically,
mentor.
yeah, I use I'm very very thank you so much for Sovik, Ashish, and Samir, and as well Lucas. Also, like you from all the people on the SNK page, so they are very supportive. So I'm not going to thank you to individuals. So I use thank you to shout out for to all the members
Shout
like
out to
Ace,
all the
Lucas,
Async
everyone.
API
You,
community member. That works.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
And it was lovely to have you here. Civic, do you have any word that you probably forgot to tell Ayush during this program and you want to tell him right now?
Uh, Nothing that comes to my mind right now. Like,
Okay, cool. Definitely you didn't forget anything. All right. It was lovely having the both of you. And we are going to be moving backstage again. I don't know if there is any question. There is no question currently from the audience for Ayush and Civic. Maybe you have question about the projects you worked on or, mentorship program. Uh, but if there's no question, we can see each other in Slack. And thank you so much. We will be right back with the next mentee and mentor. Thank you, Sevek, and thank you, Ayush, for the amazing work. And the amazing projects you all put out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bami.
Thank you. So we'll be right back. I will bring up the next uh, mentee and mentor. Okay, folks, we are back. Hello, hello. Hi,
Hello.
Hi,
Zil.
mommy.
Hi, Akshat. So good to see you. And it's good to see you too, Zil. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our next set of mentor and mentee that we had during the 2024 mentorship program at AsyncAPI, and they are going to also be sharing their story, but most importantly, tell us about the projects Zeal worked on and the impact of that project to AsyncAPI community as well. So, hi Zeal, can you quickly introduce
Hello,
yourself to the audience?
so myself Zil. I am currently a last year student from India, and apart from Async API, I have completed Google Summer of Code in JSON schema before the Async API mentorship program.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, hi Akshat. How are you?
I'm good, mommy. Yep, so I'm currently a software engineer at Postman. I've been with the Sync API from past 2.5 years now, and working here as a website maintainer. I've been the mentor for Zila for the Async API mentorship 2024. But yeah, I've been the mentee too for the Async API mentorship program, the first version in 2022 under the Lucas mentorship. And yeah, it's cool to be like a mentor, maintainer both at like conversion from the mentee to mentor now, and it's going good at Async API, contributing and maintaining the website perfectly.
Amazing. This is fantastic because this is exactly why we are doing what we're doing, and this is what we are preaching to see the people that were mentees 2 years before, a year and a half before, being the maintainer and being the mentor to new set of people that are coming into the community. This is super amazing, and we are so excited to be doing this. So thank you, Akshat, and thank you, Zil, for joining me on stage today. So quickly, Zil, can you tell everyone about your project, what you did, your topic, or the main challenges that you solved while doing your project?
Yeah, sure. My project was to migrate the build script from JavaScript to TypeScript, which resulted in almost 100% of the code base in TypeScript. So the main challenge I faced was I had to migrate test to TypeScript as well. So the issue was that I was trying to use uh, I forgot the library's name, but I was trying to use a third-party library, but it was not supported. And officially, the library was not supported for ES module for our current build setup. So I had to. That was the main uh, roadblock I faced. Moreover, if I talk about how I got to know the program, my first contribution was to Open Graph Open Graph Meta issue, which was in the February 2024. If you like, I can share my screen and show you. Yeah,
Yes, most definitely you can do that.
can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, great. Okay, this was my first involvement in the Async API. It was not a contribution, but I figured out the root cause of the bug, and that's how I get to know more about Async API community and got involved. When then I got to know about Async API mentorship program. Uh, I will show you the main issue. This was the main issue that I solved. It was basically to migrate all of the JavaScript scripts and test to TypeScript. That was it. The reason was to improve the maintainability of the code and make it more readable. So this was the issue. This was the first PR I created. You can see the files changing like over 72.
It's I think huge. The huge even the GitHub will lag to
Mm,
showcase the things. Yeah.
yeah, this was my pull request, and this was the second pull request where I migrate. Uh, no, just give me a second. Yeah, this was the second pull request. It was basically refactoring of my first pull request, which my mentor added some comments and suggestions, and apart from that, I have also migrated the test scripts. Yeah, so that was it about my project. It was about refactoring the code base. I like to show you the results. Yeah, this is the website repository, and now we have almost like 97% code in TypeScript.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. This is amazing. Amazing. Actually, I feel like you will be so proud. You were so proud of seeing this work done. So, how was it for you actually to mentoring Zil, especially after you also went through the same program?
Yeah, means like I would say it was great mentoring to Zeal. Like right from when he started the contributions, he was well aware about the things, okay, what he needs to do. And he also tracked down all the things that were happening in the website. So he was like he doesn't need that much kind of assistance to be a mentor. Like I just performed like a mentor. I always assured him like you know I'm not your manager. I'm just your mentor and I will guide you all the things. So he was like well clear about all the things that he needed. Yeah, he do face some challenges, but yeah, challenges are always be there to be to so that you learn those particular things. So yeah, I mean, like it was great working with Zeal. I thought
Likewise,
yeah, I thought that he would be get converted to a tribe. I even offered Zeal to be a triage maintainer on the website, but yeah, Zeal do have some time issue related issues right now. But yeah, it was great working with Zeal, and hopefully, I know that he will come back as a maintainer again in the website, so that we could do some more amazing things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. That's what we're talking about. Now, Ace has a question, and that is, what does it feel to go from being a mentee to a mentor? And that's what you actually.
That's a very good story, I would say. If you ask Lucas, being as a 10th mentee in the first program, the last mentee, and then becoming into a mentor, it was a great journey. I see that transformation going on in the repo, trying to do as much quality contributions in the website. It was like great. I sense of like a sense particular trust and the ownership over the website. So that particular thing comes from maintainer, and being as a mentor now, I am able to give in like proper guidance, a proper particular timeline to the people. So it was like
Right.
great working with everyone here.
Amazing. I have one more question for you, actually, before I move to Z. Uh, especially because you were also formerly a mentee before you became a mentor. What do you think has improved in the mentorship program from where you started to what you mentored now?
I would say a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have been improved. The first of things is like ACE created the code of conduct for a AsyncAPI mentorship program. We have some sort of timelines, we have evaluations because I remember like for the first time with Lucas, there was not much of the things present as per the rules because it was just started in AsyncAPI. But from till then till right now here, like we have improved a bit more, like I would say 200% in terms of quality. We are right now giving as much as things that GSOC gives us. And what are the good part about our AsyncAPI mentorship program is that it has its flexibility. It doesn't just restricts everyone just like a GSOC. AsyncAPI mentorship program has its own sense of benefits to the mentee and mentor both, that they can coordinate each other, they can have their own sense of commitments, and they can tweak some part of things. They have their own flexibility, and they can who overall can plan the project accordingly. So that's something I would say has make the Sync API, this mentorship program, a very like a brilliant move from the community. Apart from we have the GSOC running.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That is really amazing. Yes, it's another question. But how does being a mentor impact your career professionally?
Yeah, I mean, like I would say it impact a lot because when I was becoming a software engineer, getting converted to a full-time engineer because just last year only, it impacted a lot because whenever you're given a mentorship, you have to somehow lead the things as well. You have to not only think from one perspective, just from developer, you have to think from the perspective of maintaining the things, from leading the things, from guiding them in the proper particular path, and also handling the timelines at the same week. So I would say like it impacted a lot. Even I say to the lookers as well, being a maintainer has a separate level of growth in Async API. So that's a, like given a huge career boost in the professionally in my particular path. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Now that you've shared your story and your experience, let's move to Z. Hi Z, how are you?
Hello.
Okay. Can you tell us about you know um moment that stood up for you while you were going through this mentorship program with actions?
Uh, I can't remember particularly, but like something that stood out for me was like being involved in the community. Like when I started, uh, I, we have a lot of spams on the repository. Like they maintain a slow review. You have to like have some level of patience for the your PRs to be reviewed. Like learned to be patient and uh, I learned to be patient and move forward with the contributions. I don't have like anything something that's stood out, but that's what I learned from the mentorship. Yeah. Hello.
You've
Uh,
gained. Oh, can you hear me?
Mami,
Yeah.
you got skipped somewhat. Yeah, you can you please repeat?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I was asking that what is that one skill or mindset shift that you have gained during this mentorship program? That's for Z.
Which question? Sorry.
So I said, what is the new skill that you gain, or just one skill or mindset shifts that you have gained during this mentorship program?
What I learned that it is not easy, even though my project seems simple, like it is just migrating from JavaScript to TypeScript, but it is not easy when the code base is this large. Like there are a lot of issues, compatibility and library conflicts. That's what I
Oh,
like. We have to consider all of the edge cases while we work on such projects.
interesting. Oh, we have a question from Techman, and that's from YouTube. They're asking, can contributing as a mentee or a mentor help in securing future job opportunities or advancing one's career? I mean, we can talk a lot about advancing one career. Akshat, do you want to answer that?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, that's the I think the kind of live example and that I got my particular job somewhat by from the Async API itself that I got referred to the Postman. But yeah, there is multiple things you get from the open source. You get the experience of working with the good level of projects, and all those particular contributions, just like you you make the contributions either in GSOC or just like Zeal, you made it in the Async API mentorship program. It always advances you in the career. It gives you a level of experience that you have worked with the life projects. And that too, you have worked in the open source, you have been contributing in a very cutting edge technologies and with a good code quality. So yeah, it always advances you. And if you're looking for the job opportunities, you have lot of connections you can make in the open source, and by connections, you get the opportunities.
Okay, okay. So what's your take, Zoo?
I had the same take. Like if you work in the open source, you first have the hands-on experience on working something that's used by people, and another thing is you get to be part of the community and network, which helps you to grow in your career. Hello, Bami?
I think Bami got disconnected for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, like, how you have a question too? How do you continue contributing after the program, mentorship program? I'm kind of confused. Is it for me or for Z? Because we both were in the mentorship program at a point. Oh, it's for Z.
Okay,
Z.
but it's for me. So currently, Akshat offered me to be part of the triage team. So like for now I'm currently focusing on my placements, but I will come back to the Sync API to be part of the triage team to be maintainer of the project. For now, I'm focusing on my career, but I'm very sure that I will be part of the community. And by being a triage maintainer, you learn a lot. For example, like Akshat taught me one thing that like being a maintainer, you need to do more comments than commits.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, a lot of comments and comments. And yes, we are also looking forward to having Z as a mentor in the
Mm,
upcoming mentorship programs that we are going to be having. So
sure.
thank you so much, you both. I think that's all of the question we have. Is there any other question we are missing? Um, yes, no more question. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you, Z, and thank you, Akshat. Thank you both for the work that you're doing and for the projects that you've worked on. Thank you so much, and we'll continue the rest. Oh, okay. Okay. There's one more question. And that's for Akshat. Yes, I know. What's your advice for to future mentors?
Yeah. So likewise, like I always have to like in this particular era of GSOC as well, I have to guide some of the new mentors in the websites, and I always give the same advice. If you work with the mentees, with the candidates in the initial phase of proposals, you will see a like huge kind of comfort while working with that candidate in the later phase. So go through the proposals, work with the mentees at the initial stage, try to get the real notion of the issue, try to give them the real notion of the issues, what we really want to do, explore the candidates, have thorough proposals from the mentees, and try to get like the best candidate from it. So like if you get the best candidate in terms of proposals, it's like it's a boon for you. You will get a like even if it will be a lot more beneficial for your growth as well, that you will also learn from the mentee. And meanwhile, the mentee is also gaining the experience while he's contributing with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So while we're at it, Zil, you can also give your advice to the future mentees according to your own perspective?
One thing I like to uh, share that when somebody is like somebody has submitted a PR, be patient and be mindful of the maintenance time. Like they have a separate life too. That's what I want
Awesome.
to do. Yeah.
I mean, that's very valid. That's so valid. Thank you so much, Zay, and thank you so much, Akshat. And we're going to be seeing you in the community. So right now we are going to be going on another 3 minutes break, and we'll be back up with our next mentor. Um, that will also be sharing the journey of the AsyncAPI mentorship program. But for now, enjoy a little music.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Yes. Again and again and again, we are back. And yes, now we are live with Anthony, and he is a maintainer and a mentor at AsyncAPI. And I'm so particular about this project because, unlike the previous two mentors talking about CLI, which is super technical, and moving from to TypeScript, we are talking about the non-code part of tech, and this is so interesting to see that we can also contribute to open source aside coding, and this is what we are preaching, right? And it's good and amazing and so gladdens our hearts to see that we have uh, a representative of that in the AsyncAPI mentorship program 2024, which is Anthony, the mentor for the docs, yeah. And he mentored Ezine. Ezine is joining us. She has a little bit of, um, I don't know if she's stable now, of technical network issue, but it would be nice if she can also share her experience. I have her. Anthony, how are you?
Yeah, hi Bami, hi everyone. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Uh, Good to be here. So glad to be here. So glad.
Okay, we are also glad to have you. Now, I have a whole lot of questions, especially being that you did a non-technical part of it. But first off, just tell us a little bit about you and the projects your mentee worked on.
Well, yeah. For those who doesn't know me, I'm Anthony. I'm a full-time technical writer and mentor of the documentation project during the Mentorship Program 2024. I was co-mentoring this project together with Tuli, and we were helping Ezine and Prince work on improving documentation on the community repository. Basically, we managed to complete all the tasks and that were mentioned in the project scope, and that's, I think, one of the greatest achievement of our cohort. So yeah, pretty happy about that. And I hope Ezine will can make it and tell us some details, or I will defend the stage myself.
Oh, I think we will be having this day together, Anthony.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, I have a whole lot of questions. Yes,
Okay, go
I have
go
a
ahead.
lot. I have a whole lot of questions, but just for context, because Izine is not here, can you tell the audience what Izine worked on during during the program?
So yeah, I can share my screen. Probably it would be easier to show.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, share this window. So you should see my screen. Yeah, here it is. So uh, this epic consists of all the tasks that we have during the program, and basically it's a lot of tasks. Actually, 8, 3, 2. So 13, 16, 17 part of the tasks were out of scope, but we actually decided to split the scope because it was too big, and it was decided to do so because some of the tasks were pretty complex and took a lot of time for the communication, for the drafting, for the reviewing. So basically, we eventually we decided to split the scope, but out of scope tasks were mostly on me, and but we managed to come up with some pretty good results, even for the tasks that were out of scope. So Ezine was working mostly. The whole project was based on improving the community onboarding and community uh, how how it's contribution guidelines. Well, so is you can see all the tasks that Ezine was working on. So I can easy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 tasks. So all of them were successfully completed, and you can basically check the website. AsyncAPI. We have a new community section, and all the documents that guys were working on are located in the onboarding section and the contribution guidelines. So adding this section was part of the out of scope activity that was mostly on me. We actually uh, released it a few weeks ago, so it was another like achievement of our cohort, and previously this part was like 5 or 6 documents, and we managed to bring all the community documentation live on the website, so you can free to check this out. And well, basically, in short, I think that's pretty much it. uh, you can check the epic for more information, and all the like all the PRs. You can see all the PRs that were assigned to mentees, and all the PRs have pretty much excessive information about what was done. But yeah, the main focus was on bringing the um, onboarding itself for different roles, for different uh, like roles of contributors, and to make this path easier and streamlined. So I feel like we managed to drastically reduce the complexity the of the process. And well, I think that's pretty much it from my side in terms of what was done. So yeah, you can see it's a hell of a lot of tasks, and we managed to complete them all together. So all the mentees did an awesome job. So I'm super happy about that, and it was a really like so much fun to work on this, even though most of the guys have no previous experience working with open source, working with Git, working with documentation in like enterprise scale. So it was fun and rewarding at the same time.
Amazing. Amazing. I mean, this is so good. I feel like you have made a lot of justice to, telling us about the project is in a worked on. So thank you so much for that. And like I earlier mentioned, I have a whole lot of questions. Given that myself, I'm also like a non-technical part of it, and contributing to open source, and we want to see how that how people that are non-technical can also actively contribute to open source, especially doing something that they can grow and also impact the community, and also get financial growth as well. It's sweet to see that non-technical people can do this. And I have questions. I hope Ace also has a lot of questions. I'm guessing. Ace also has a lot of questions. Okay, isn't it strange? Shout out to
Thank you.
Anton, Mr. Anton Anthony.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
isn't it? Anthony mentee. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Now my question. There is like um different things that we hear about, technical documentation, technical writing, and you being a mentor in this program. What do you think is the biggest misconception when people talk about technical writing, especially in open source?
Um, it's a very good question. Well, uh, as I was previously a participant of the Google uh, GSOT, Google Season of Docs, 3 times in a
Season.
row. So like the biggest misconception is that documentation doesn't matter. Actually, we code, we like deliver features, we work on fixes, we work on tests, and basically documentation is something left for technical debt or something like that, and no one is working on it, and or they are working on like if you have some spare time, and as my experience show it, documentation probably plays the vital role in open source organization, because there are a hell of a lot of contributors, people who are using the product in different ways, and well, the code doesn't explain all the features, all the intricacies that the product has, and you have to describe it somehow. So the proper way is to like work on documentation and try to describe from the user perspective how the things work. If you never tried this product, if you just download it, how to install it, how to launch it, how to I don't know, restart some features, like enable, disable something, and you have to work on like some tricky edge cases that might be here in configuring the product, or uh, well, anything. So it basically could be anything. So some open source organizations, I saw a lot of them who doesn't care about the documentation, and they are thinking that okay, we are open source and everyone can like work on documentation, everyone can contribute, but if you don't know how the project works, no one can help you. And you, like as a owner of of this open source organization, you have to at least provide some basic documentation to get people onboarded, help people get started, show some guidance, show some tutorials, show some I don't know, test cases probably that could describe how things work, at least. And you have to help them to actually start contributing to the missing parts of the documentation. So I feel like this would be the top one misconception from all other things that like open source documentation has.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I mean that we know that there is a lot, but thank you for like emphasizing on that. So my next question, while I'm waiting for Ace to ask his question, new docs. Anthony, can you hear me?
Sorry, Bami, I can hear you. So yeah, can hear you. Something like network connection issue.
Okay,
Yeah.
my internet skipped for a bit. Okay. So the question I asked was, how did you approach guiding mentees who were completely new to writing docs or into open source?
Bami, can you
Can you
please
hear me?
repeat the first part of the question?
Okay, so how did you approach guiding mentees who were completely new to writing docs or say
Okay.
completely new to contributing to open source?
Yeah.
You have them, right?
Yeah, sure. Uh, Basically, Zenev was one of these mentees, and she did a great job in making herself familiar with all the intricacies of the documentation and contributing to open source. Excuse me, please, for 1 second. I need to get to the charger. I need to charge my laptop. So I will get back in like 1 minute. Sorry, please.
Okay, so we're going to be going on a short break while we wait for Anton to get back his charger. Awesome. We're back. We're back. Thank you so much, Anthony, for joining us again. So, yes, you wanted to. I asked a question that's how did you approach uh, and to guide the mentees that are contributing to open source or contributing to technical writing for the first time?
Yeah, well, the one of the approaches like I used during the program was to make the person go through all the documentation and find something that triggered him or she, um, something that like any kind of ideas, any kind of typos, any kind of additions they may have when reading the documentation. Maybe some part of the existing documentation has some like uh, not pretty comprehensive parts, or something can be improved in terms of wording, in terms of describing things or anything like that. So I feel like the easiest part of getting involved, getting started with the documentation, is to just read through the existing documents and find something that you don't like, or you have some kind of ideas that may improve it, and it works in 90% of the cases. And in this way, super simple contributions, they help people get familiar with the tools a certain organization uses, the workflow, the guidance, the styles, anything like that. So uh, it helps getting familiar and with everything that may occur in during the deployment of the changes, some kind of linters that work before you commit things or anything like that. So with simple, just like typos, you can actually feel get your hands dirty with the flow, with the like from the PR to like life changes, and you are no longer like fears to contribute something to the documentation, and it's kind of it always works in my experience, like just giving the new contributors or newcomers the freedom to express themselves. uh, it's a
Yeah.
way to go, so you can actually find something interesting, something you haven't considered yet till this time, and they can bring some fresh ideas, fresh perspective to the existing documentation. And even if those changes weren't like considered during the project, like this one, they can actually be included or considered to be like part of the bigger changes, like for example bounty program for someone who are more familiar with the flow, or for someone uh, uh, who can do some complex changes. So yeah, probably this is one of the most like commonly used approaches from my side.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you a lot. Mm, okay. It's as a question. What is it like to co-mentor? So
Well, for me, it was like a, helpful ally, because I was co-mentoring with Tuli, and without her help, I probably couldn't make it. So she answered lots of my questions, lots of my concerns of how something works, uh, and any ideas that I had. So uh, it helps a lot actually, and mm, probably mentoring with just like if you have only one mentor per project. Uh, for me, I feel like it could be much more difficult for me, because I haven't have no such experience in working with mentoring a group of people. Like you have to have like leading skills, some kind of conversation skills. You have to like uh, juggling with meetings, with organizing things. So I'm not so much of that kind of person. So for me, it was it was a huge help from Tuli, and I'm honored to be a part of the co-mentoring cohort.
that's amazing. I can totally understand and relate to everything you said. But yeah, it's another question. How do you measure the impact of your documentation work in an open source setting?
Um, there are different like approaches to do that, but actually, uh, then I feel like the number of issues that people have, that people are interested in involving in the project, they know how to contribute, how to make their first contribution. They know how to like submit a pull request. So I feel like um, if the documentation has some like submitted issues, it works pretty well, because if the documentation has no open issues, or uh, any discussions about some topic, uh, it kind of two-way street. It either absolutely explicit in terms of understanding, or it isn't. So no one knows how to contribute, how to understand the documentation. So I feel like if the documentation has some feedback, it works. Otherwise, no one knows what's going on. Even the even the analytics couldn't tell you what's going on, because you just have some pages viewed and nothing happens. So when feedback shows what's going on, how the documentation is it healthy, or whether something going on with the guides, maybe they're not so pretty like straightforward, uh, or something like that. So my answer is probably would be then, like, if you have any feedback about the documentation.
Okay, cool. So we are not taking any question from Ace anymore. But then
Yeah.
I have another question from you. No, Ace, we have probably have more questions to go. But I have another question from you. What do you think a technical writer should three skills? You can just mention three skills that you think someone that want to contribute to technical writing in open source should have,
um,
apart from writing documents.
yeah. So top three, probably consistency. If you have like uh, if you are just a one-time contributor, this won't work, because sometimes you have um situations when some improvements took place and you no longer understand what's going on. One so the situation is when you contribute something useful and meaningful, and then some kind of automated or other not so obvious changes took place, and something became broken. So you have to like check the documentation from time to time, and check whether it's still comprehensive and still complete in terms of well, I don't know, examples, descriptions, like guidance, etc., etc. So the first one is consistency. The second one is again completeness. If you can't like complete the steps described in one guide, yeah, you fail. If someone couldn't understand what's going on with your like onboarding flow, or how to start with some kind of any tool you have, again, you fail it. The documentation should be well completed, and you have to work a person can check on their own whether the document, all the steps described in the documentation, can be completed successfully. And the third, probably it's error-free. So check for check for
Sorry,
consistency, for any kind of errors, typos, any misspelled like things, or maybe examples have something not pretty like understandable. Uh, well, I would go with that list. So
yes,
all
thank you
these
so
steps
much.
are pretty
Actually,
easy for newcomers to check. It's just like you open the documentation and you go through all the steps that are described in here, and you just try like test and try if everything works. If not, you are free to open a new pull request or just submit an issue to fix something that isn't working, and you feel like it's something wrong with the docs. And probably it's one of the simplest way to contribute to the docs. Just try and see
Awesome.
how
Thank you.
how everything works.
Thank you so much. At this point, I would want to be your mentee, actually. I'd want to learn.
Thanks, Bami. Thanks.
I'd want to learn how to write technical writing under your mentorship.
Yeah,
Thank you so
actually,
much for that
writing docs
explicit
is a really
explanation.
like rewarding experience, and you can feel the impact uh, in long term. So some documents can have like immediate impact when they just appear, yeah, and no documentation existed before. But some documents like guidance, some kind of tricky tutorials that explains how things work, they can be rewarding in a long term, and every like newcomer who tries how things work will like submit like some kind of feedback, yeah, and say that wow, that worked amazing, like finally, and you can feel the difference during yeah, uh, like again these contributions may be rewarding in the long term.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you for the explanation. Thank you for coming to explain this project to us. And we look forward to more projects you'll be working on with your
Yeah.
mentees. Probably I'm going to be one of it someday, very soon. Yes, thank you. Another 3 minutes break while we bring up the next and yes, the last mentor and mentee for this wrap up program that we have today. So, thank you once again, Anton, and see you all in 3 minutes.
Thanks, Bami. See you.
Oh yeah, so he's excited to be back.
I am.
It is. He has been off backstage for like over an hour and a half, 30 minutes now. So I'm very sure he's excited to be back here, still in the spotlight. Okay, so we have Is and Mohammed today. Right now is is the mentor, I believe, and Marmont is a mentee, and this is also the program lead. So you can imagine he's bringing
Yeah,
all the
I feel
effort,
I feel pretty
all
nervous.
all the effort into it. And yes, he's also that makes me have a more question for you, but
No.
and now you cannot ask question. All right. So quickly is for the sake of folks that are joining us a bit late and probably will be watching this later, reintroduce yourself as a mentor now.
Oh, okay. Hey everyone. I'm Ace. I used to believe I'm pretty popular community. I know I might be wrong. And in the AsyncAPI Mentorship Program 2024, I was proud to be a mentor to Mohammed, who is an amazing person. And yeah, I've been a mentor in all in past programs, not just mentorship program, and also in Google Summer of Code. Yeah, and being a mentor is such an amazing thing to be a part of, especially when you are also with other amazing folks.
Okay, cool. We know is a very, very proud moment for you. Yes. But moment, hey, hello. So can you also introduce yourself?
Yes, yes. So, hello everyone. I'm Mohammad Nadeem, and I am mentee of ACE. And the project I was allotted was uh, working on the Async API React project. So, I had to solve some PRs and eventually become a maintainer of that project.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So before I ask Ace any further question, Mohammed, can you show us the project you worked on and what the problem is solved?
Okay, so my project has a UI. So instead of showing the PR in GitHub, I can directly show the UI and show the changes. Let me screen share.
Cool.
Mm, yeah. Is my screen visible? Yes, yes, it is.
Yes.
So this is what the docs of Async API looks like of the schema when it is generated to React. So this is the whole lifeline of the Async API project. Like if you can't understand your schema, you can't understand what is happening and what is the system based on. So for example, if we take this, if else then, and I mean this is very complicated to understand if you don't know Async API spec. I mean, if anybody knows Async API specs, so he will understand this. So our aim was to make this easy to understand, so that someone who is not familiar with Async API, when he sees the rendered documentation of his schema, he should automatically understand like what is the schema trying to say. So what Ace and me came up with was like there is too much information over here. So we should just split. This is my local server running, and this PR is open right now. So we split everything into rules and conditions, and there are two tabs right here: rules and condition. Rule was this like value blah 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 blah. Your same, and conditions are nested. Like at one time you can see little information, and if you want to know more about that, then you can open it and then you can see the rules which are governing the condition. So this was actually the majority of my part. Previous contributions I had made, I think, for more than 8 months, almost a year. So like that is the reason maybe I was selected for the Async API program. That's it from my side.
Awesome, awesome. This is really great. Thank you so much for sharing, Mohammed. And I really want to ask is, how has it been for you, especially as a return mentor? You keep returning, you keep giving, and it never runs dry. How has the experience been for you?
Yes.
Uh,
So the reason why I love being a mentor is because of candidates or contributors like Mohammed, right? Being a mentor isn't an easy task, but when you are assigned with the right contributor, mentoring will be so much fun for you. And yeah, so I've always been lucky enough to have really amazing mentees that are really, really even more into the project than I am. And an example is Mohammed, right? So we have some pending pull requests that we are looking forward to meet, like just like the changes Mohammed like presented in this uh, um, presented not quite long ago, which is basically simplifying the message payload for async API spec, right? So you don't have to know the spec to know what the message is trying to say. And yeah, so having contributors like Mohammed, always like pushing, always so interested, they're not just here for the for the reward of the mentorship program, but for the experience, right? And I can really say, Mohammed is always like in my inbox, hey Ace, what up, like let's do something, I want to be a maintainer, I want to really be a part of the project, I want to be part of the community. And when you have mentees like these, you would want to participate in future programs. And yeah, I want to say, I wouldn't say because I'm the program lead. That is why I'm lucky enough to always have like amazing mentees. I'm just gonna say just because the program is awesome in general, and that is why I'm happy to always come back as a mentor every year.
Yes, thank you so much. And speaking of, Mohammed saying that he wants to be a maintainer, we are trying to move from, the mentorship to maintainership. And how is that experience going, going from the conventional mentorship to maintainership?
So it actually, like I said earlier, it's mentees like this that want to make us like try for maintenance and for maintenance program. So going from mentorship to maintenance, for some people feels like it's a lot of things, and I know even some people in the community don't like the idea of transitioning to maintainership, right? But being a maintainership is much more rewarding to the community or to the initiative than just taking mentorship, right? So being a mentorship offers much more for both the mentee, especially to the mentee and to the mentor. You don't just learn to contribute to a one-off project. Now you learn to live or not live the experience of being a maintainer, right? So that is really huge. Even if some folks think it's a bad idea, I beg to differ.
Yes, yes, totally. Thank you so much. So, Mohammed, can you share your experience working with Ace? I remember when you were speaking, you said what Ace and I come up with, which is super nice, like a teamwork. It's giving teamwork.
so like
Some
the
noise.
project, yes. So the project on which I am working on, it was actually the design was actually made by some other one who was like I think previous to me, and he made the design. Asmit, I think his name was. So you know the problem was that the design looks good, but when you implement it, it is not practical. So Ace and I had to like revise and do a lot of brainstorming and come up with something. And the whole PR is filled with comments of going back and doing this again, doing that again. So like we had to go do a lot of back and forth. And Ace has always been helpful. Like if I had an issue, so he used to always send me a link, like hop on a call and let's talk it out.
So I think Bam is frozen.
Yes,
Probably
internet issue maybe.
internet. Hey, Bami, are you back?
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay, so my internet is
Yes.
freezing a little bit. Uh, yeah, so I said you were nodding all through while Mohammed was speaking. You have something to add to that?
No, no, I'm just
It was like Avengers assemble.
super proud. There's actually been some delays in the React component project, probably due to some personal issues that I have. So I'm trying so hard to, commit more time to React components so we can, make some of these changes, introduce more features and, make the React components even better. And we also like, saying how we could even build our own version of the React components. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Yes.
Oh, I'm like, hoo. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Mohammed. Mohammed, um, what would you say to some new folks that will probably not only probably take join you in the project that you're working on, because I am believing that you are living in that project right now, so you're not living it. Am
Joining
I
me
trying
in the project
to?
means
So I'm saying that you are living in, like Ed said, you're living in the project. So you are not living. You're not going to be living the project. And say we have another mentorship program that's coming up, and a mentees are joining you in that project. What advice would you give this mentee?
mm, I think a good advice is like when someone sets the guideline for a project. So I mean the mentee should like think around the guidelines, like not only like it is not a checklist like do this, do this, do this. You have to think outside of the box and see if there is a better way to do the same thing. So like because when the project maintainers like make the project or things, so I mean it the reality comes only after you start implementing it, so like you have to reiterate as you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Uh, okay, cool. Why is this? Is it still here? Hey. So once again, as you have been constantly been a mentor and also a maintainer, and you're also the project lead. How do you try not to, uh, you know, let one influence the other? You are a mentor, but also you're also the project lead, which, as you mentioned earlier, that is one of our challenge is that there is no documentation. So all of this mentor and mentee comes to the organizer,
Yeah.
which is you, and few others, to ask a lot of questions. So how do you merge these two things together, being a mentor to Mohammed and also being the project lead for this
Okay,
program?
so one thing I'm gonna say is I try not to do what you just said, merge. So see myself as two different entity, right? When I'm a mentor, I'm strictly a mentor, right? I don't, come to Mohammed. We don't discuss anything related to the program. So to Mohammed, I'm strictly just a mentor, right? And as a program organizer, I'm also strictly just the program organizer. So I try not to, merge these two things together in such a way that there's gonna be like some sort of like conflict in interest. So I try my best as possible not to make this a possibility.
Okay. All right, that's amazing. Is another way to see it, not to try to merge, but to try to stand as a different entity. Cool. So, um, Mohammed, do you think that you can like pride yourself as that you have gained some kind of level of professional growth with this short time working on this project with Ace?
mm,
And what would that professional growth be?
He also is.
uh what
He also hates philosophy.
Sorry, I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I'm saying you also hate legacy code.
Oh, yes, 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 very much. So that is a big challenge of what I faced in my project was like the code was like crazy, like everything was recursion. And I at start, it looks very simple and all, but the more you read the code, the more you understand, oh no, I don't know what is going on right now. So like it was a big challenge, but Ace helped me to simplify it. And what was the question? I actually forgot.
That was my
That's it. That is Costas. Okay. So the question was, I think I said it at the top of my head.
yeah
I can't really
is
rewind right
how
now.
did to
But I think
impact your
what?
career professionally.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. Your growth, yes.
So I think before I was a mentee, I was like kind of like nudging the maintainers to merge my PRs. But after becoming a mentee, I realized that like maintainers also have a life. So like I have to wait. And like I at the problem was at first I was not very accustomed to the slow movement of open source projects, but like now it makes sense because I myself am kind of busy right now. And another thing was like I
Right.
learned a lot from this project. And like it looks like simple like React, everyone knows React, but no, it is not simple. The workflows and all the build scripts and is very good and mind opening.
Amazing, amazing. Ace, like I mentioned earlier, you have been like a returning mentor and also the project lead. How has this constantly moved your career forward professionally?
It's actually moved my career forward professionally in many ways, especially in terms of like building relationship with open source people. Right, I love using the term open source people. They are regular people, and then they are open source people. So example.
Yeah.
So an example is me being a mentor, right? It's so I love coming back to mentor because of the relationship I get to build with my mentees. I tend to not just discuss project related conversations. I also try to have personal conversation. And an example was in terms of Mohammed. It was exciting to see how Mohammed like built his own computer from scratch, which is super awesome. So these are like things I tend to do with my mentees. I try not to just talk about projects, but to talk about common interest and things they do enjoy outside of coding or outside of contributing or writing projects. And in terms of being a program organizer, like I said, it has still relationship and communication. I used to have this anxiety when I started like organizing a program. Being a program lead in an organization like AsyncAPI is huge, right? Getting to convince the community to give me money to like run a program, and it's crazy, right? But then it also comes with some sort of like confidence when you know that what you're doing, you're not actually doing it for yourself, you're actually doing it for the community, right? You're actually looking for growth of the
Yes.
initiative. Yeah, that's sort of like helped me grow, and also like taught me that to get what you want, sometimes you have to demand it.
Oh, yes. You have to demand it. You have to go get it, grab it, possibly. Okay. I don't think there's any question on YouTube. Is there any? I'm not seeing any currently. So I'm assuming that nobody has question. Like Ace and Mohammed session was so clear to everyone, right? And Ace is not
That's the question.
backstage to
Yeah.
ask question as well. All right. So, with that being said, I just want to ask this quick last question. Like, how do you think now coming from you is who is the project manager? I mean, project lead, and you're also like already telling us about the challenges and what we need to do to make the mentorship program better. So, what are ways that you think how we can make this project, I mean, this program better, number one? And then number two, how do you think mentees can continue to improve their skills after the program? Number two. That's two
Okay,
questions for you, please.
so I'm gonna answer the first question, which is how to improve the program, especially now that we're transitioning to the mentorship program. The first thing I want to say is the support of the community. I always say without the community, nothing is possible. So the community has to see that now it is not about just mentoring one-off contributors, but now transitioning them to maintenance. And it's not so we also have to look at the long-term effect of transitioning to maintenance. Um, so the long-term effect, get to have more project maintainers and that actively and regularly triage issues, review pull requests, and also maintain the project in general. So that is one thing I'm going to say in terms of being a program organizers. And also, then the second question, which is how. So can you repeat the question?
Oh, yeah. How can mentees also improve their skills after the maintenance program?
Awesome. So you can actually a lot of different ways. But I'm going to focus on the aspects that I said earlier. If you want something, you have to demand it, right? I used to say like current maintainers love contributors who can take ownership, right? So if you are a mentee and you want to continue to improve your program and your skills after the program, you have to continuously show active maintainers or current maintainers that you can actually take ownership of these projects, right? So you should look into open issues in the project you are accustomed to. Review these issues. Review pull requests to maintenance. Really appreciate that. I know mentees always think, "Oh, I'm a mentee. I don't think I should be reviewing pull requests." But you're actually wrong, right? You can still review pull requests. That's the whole point of being That's the whole point of being mentored, right? The maintainer already instilled the knowledge of taking ownership. And taking ownership also includes reviewing someone else's request. You might think, oh, the person that opened this request seems extremely knowledgeable, but if all maintainers feel the same way, the project would never move forward.
Like you just drop back there.
And, and
Drop back.
I just
Mic drop. It dropped the mic. Okay. Thank you so much. I think we can wrap up with this right now. And
so
I don't want to ask if he has
awesome.
any
So
question.
basically,
But
what I want to say is, so after this session, uh, I will still come back up stage to then talk about what's next.
yes, awesome. That is what we are going to be looking forward to. But we are going to be going on a 5 to 10 minute break right now. Before we come back, stay tuned and do not go
Awesome.
anywhere.
See
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Ace. It was amazing chatting with you all.
Okay, people, and we are back for the final part of this mentorship wrap-up program. I know it's been an amazing one so far. We've had exciting mentors and mentees come up stage to share their contributions and share their experiences, and also share some piece of advice for future mentees and maintainers. Um, I'm giving a few seconds. To Bami, do you want to come up, stage? Hi. So
I
I know we ran out of time. Special shout out to my amazing co-host Bami. She did an amazing job. Now she has to leave, so we're all gonna be saying just right.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Bami, for the amazing session. You did really fantastic. I'm pretty
it
sure
was
the
nice.
mentors and mentees were really glad to be presented by you.
It was a fantastic session, and it was amazing chatting with all of them. And as I said, I'm already going to apply as Anthony's mentee moving forward. So yeah, it was good. And thank you all that joined. And I know Ace will continue to talk about what next for the mentorship program. And yeah,
Ciao. See
toodles.
you, Bami. Thank you very much. Have fun. Okay. Thanks so much, Bami. Now I'm going to talk about what's next for the mentorship program. So we officially wrapped up the 2024 mentorship program. Now we need to start preparing our opening application for the next cohort. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. So let's talk about what next for the next mentorship program cohort, which is going to kickstart this year. So if you really want to be a part of it, then I guess you should either join it on Slack or keep an eye out on our social media handles. To get started, what next? Building cultures around building cultures around mentorship. So for this next cohort of the AsyncAPI mentorship program, we are doing a little bit of transitioning, right? So if you joined earlier, you might already see us like mention things like maintainership. Yes, so we are transitioning. So we are transitioning from the typical mentorship program to something much more bigger, right? So we're transitioning to the AsyncAPI maintainership program. So think of it as a rebranding, right? So for the past 3 years, we've been doing the AsyncAPI mentorship program, but it is the right time for us to transition into something much more sustainable and much more bigger and has much more impact, which is the AsyncAPI mentorship program. So you can see this AsyncAPI mentorship program basically is AsyncAPI plus AsyncAPI, which means the AsyncAPI tools plus the AsyncAPI community equals the AsyncAPI mentorship program. So with the mentorship program, the goal is to not just give mentees or contributors a one-off mentorship experience, but to give them a continuity of the mentorship experience. So by transitioning to the mentorship program, the AsyncAPI maintainers cannot just offer, we will not just offer mentees a one-time shot at maintainership, but give them a lifetime shot at being a maintainer. And as you can see, we've spent roughly over $30,000 during these 3 years of the AsyncAPI mentorship, during these 3 years of the AsyncAPI mentorship program, right? That's a lot of money, right? But the thing is, so far so good. We only have few of these contributors or few of these mentees end up as maintainers, end up as actively contributing to this project. Yeah, we do have some successful mentees that stayed active in their respective projects over these 3 years of doing the AsyncAPI mentorship program. But I think it's high time to shoot up the number a bit, right? And that is why we are transitioning to the AsyncAPI mentorship program, right? We, the community, already spent over $30,000, on AsyncAPI mentorship program, and we still see ourselves doing this mentorship program in the future, right? Which means we're still going to spend more of the community money on the community, right? On the AsyncAPI mentorship program. So why not just transition into something much more sustainable, which is to see most, if not all, of these mentees become respective triagers and maintainers in their respective projects. You see what I said earlier, the transitioning. So the goal is to develop long-term maintainers, not just short-term contributors, one maintainer at a time. So the all requirements for being eligible for the new Equipment Maintenance Program is basically being a curious learner, right? So this is the whole path to becoming a maintainer, which is the path we are going to take each and every of our selected mentee through, right? So we're going to look for curious learners. So if you are a curious learner, then you are already a fit for this new Equipment Maintenance Program. If you're a first-time contributor, yeah, you can also apply, right? So the interesting thing is mentors are always willing to, teach and pass on knowledge to all sort of contributors. And the most important requirement for being part of the AsyncAPI mentorship program is to be an active community member, right? So you have to have been, active in the community, probably like 4 months or 3 months before 4 to 6 months before the mentorship program officially kicks in, right? So because it is a mentorship program, we do not want to waste, our mentors' time by selecting candidates that are not even familiar with the project in the first place, right? The community wants to build their trust in existing community members, right? So if you haven't join the AsyncAPI community and you really want to be a part of the mentorship program, I will tell you right now, this is the best time to actually join the AsyncAPI community. So you can join us on the AsyncAPI website by clicking on the Slack link, which I'm going to share later in this presentation. So like I said earlier, the most requirement for the AsyncAPI mentorship program is to be an active community member. The next step after you've become an active community member is to work with your mentee or work with your mentor to become a project collaborator. So after the after the AsyncAPI mentors have already taken you through all the steps and all the requirements of being an AsyncAPI maintainer or an AsyncAPI triager, the next thing is to make you a project collaborator. And once you are already sufficient in becoming a project collaborator, the next step is literally for you to be a maintainer. And all of this would not be possible without the help of mentors. So that is the new transition phase, right? So now we're not going to take, one-time contributions. Now we're only going to take project ideas that are aimed at making mentees either a triager of their project or an absolute maintainer. So if you're a mentor or if you're a maintainer and you want to be part of the AsyncAPI mentorship program, so that is the requirement, right? So we're not going to accept any project that doesn't have the goal of making the mentee a triager of the project, a project collaborator, or a maintainer of the starting project. So let's see what are the benefits of being a maintainer at AsyncAPI, right? Aside of giving the ability to collaborate on projects, making decisions on projects, but there are also some really cool perks in being a maintainer. The bounty program, right? Like I always say, this is my favorite program as a maintainer in the AsyncAPI initiative, right? So we have a special program for maintainers. Not just a program, actually, it's actually a paid program, right? And the goal of the bounty program is to pay maintainers a certain amount of money to actively solve open source issues in their project, respectively. Right, so being a maintainer in the AsyncAPI initiative basically means you automatically qualify for this program. That's pretty cool, right? So if you eventually get accepted as a mentee into the AsyncAPI mentorship program and you become a maintainer, it doesn't end there, right? It doesn't end there. You still get the perks and benefits of being a maintainer at AsyncAPI. The next thing is the fellowship program. Yeah, this is something new, right? So I don't have a lot of information about the fellowship program. It's still a work in progress, which I believe is going to be introduced to the community soon. And the goal of the fellowship program is also to elevate maintainers, right? It is strictly made for maintainers. So becoming a maintainer at AsyncAPI is really rewarding, right? So if you join this AsyncAPI mentorship as a mentee and you end up being a maintainer, your story doesn't end there, right? You still have a lot of stories to tell, right? You still have a lot of benefits to claim, such as the bounty program and also the qualification for the upcoming fellowship program. So that is basically the new transition into the AsyncAPI mentorship program. But talking about the mentorship program, I know we have. I want to tell you, right? We have made, or we are going to be making a lot of changes, right? So things that we don't have presently at the AsyncAPI mentorship program are going to be introduced to the AsyncAPI mentorship program. The first thing is the official program documentation, which is currently being worked by me, and thanks to Anton and Tuli for the effort they are already putting in the program documentation. So for the mentorship program, we are not going to have a single source of truth, right? Maybe it's where the program organizer is going to be the only person you can reach out to if you have any questions or if you demand some answers, right? So we're going to have an official documentation, which is going to hold every information you will need either as a mentor or as a mentee or as a program organizer for the program, right? That is pretty cool, which is something we didn't have in previous iteration of this program, and we actually suffered the impact. I know we really suffered the impact. So we're going to be introducing the official mentorship, or now we call it mentorship. So the official AsyncAPI mentorship program documentation, which is huge. So one thing we are also like introducing in the mentorship program is actually the volunteering roles. I know this is super like unique. This is something we don't have before. So let me give you a backstory, right? Participating in the AsyncAPI mentorship program means you have to get accepted. But the thing is, we only have limited slots, right? Even though like maintainers really want to like have more mentees to work on their projects, but we only have like limited slots for this program, right? So that means like we could have a lot of candidates applying, but we can only accept a few because of the budgets. So to fix that, we are also offering volunteering roles, right? So as a mentee, if you did not get accepted for the program, for the mentorship program, you can still, volunteer for the contribution you're trying to make, right? So being a volunteer means you get the same experience as a mentee that receives a stipend. You get the same experience, you get the same quality time from mentors, you get everything a paid mentee is getting except from being paid, right? So at the end of the day, you are still going to, at the end of the day, you are still going to experience the same mentorship experience given to a paid mentee, right? So we're not just introducing volunteering roles to mentees, we are also offering volunteering roles to mentors and organizers, right? And you know, that is huge, right? So you can also like volunteer as a mentor if you think you really don't need a mentor stipend, which is a little talking about appreciation for mentors. So if you think you don't need the token of appreciation to be a mentor, you can volunteer as a mentor, and you can also volunteer as a program organizer. So if you have skills in program management and you think you really want to like participate in the mentorship program, you can actually participate as an organizer, right? So the AsyncAPI mentorship program has limited number of organizers, which is basically just me and Turi. So if you want to like participate for the next cohorts as an organizer, yes, you can actually volunteer for these roles. So that is the new one of the newest addition we are introducing to the next AsyncAPI mentorship program, which is program organizers. So the next thing I want to talk about is becoming a sponsor. That's something we are also introducing in this cohort, right? So you can now sponsor this mentorship program, right? So we're also looking for sponsors. Like I said earlier, we always have limited budget for this program every year. So if you know your company actually benefits from a AsyncAPI initiative, maybe by using some of our toolings or in any way benefiting from our toolings or from the contributions being made by our maintainers or our contributors, you can actually come sponsor the mentorship program, right? You can sponsor the mentorship program in many ways, right? As a company, you can actually pay for a single slot in the mentorship program, which basically means you are paying for a mentee stipend throughout the program duration. That is pretty huge, right? So if you know a company that might be interested in sponsoring the mentorship program, or if you currently work for a company that benefits from the AsyncAPI initiative, that might be a potential sponsor. Feel free to preach the gospel, right? Or you can personally reach out to me to officially request for sponsorship, right? So we need sponsors for this program for us to push more available slots and for us to make more maintenance, right? Like I said earlier, one maintainer at a time. So become a sponsor. We need sponsors. So if you know you can if you know a company that willing to sponsor, feel free to reach out to me, and I can basically shoot them an email. So, like I said earlier, so the AsyncAPI community sponsors the mentorship program from the money coming from the initiative itself, not the money for the mentorship itself. So the mentorship doesn't have like any money or any budgets. So the budget is basically coming from the general budget for the AsyncAPI community, which is possible thanks to our active financial sponsors. So if you want to join us if you want to join us for this next cohort, feel free to like follow us on our social media. And if you want to like learn more, join us on Slack. You can look for me at Ace on Slack. If you have any questions, I'm willing to like answer any of the questions. So without no further ado, if there are no I don't think there are questions and answers. If you have any question, like I said earlier, feel free to like leave it in the comment section, or you can just join us on Slack, and I will be willing to answer your questions. So I think that is basically everything about the AsyncAPI Mentorship 2024 wrap up, right? It was an honor hosting this session, and I want to give a special shout out to all of the mentors and mentees that were able to join this session today. It's been an amazing session, and special shout out to Bami, who helped organize and hosted these sessions. And yeah, so we also have some mentors and mentees that did not join this live stream to share their experiences. But I promise you this, I'm gonna chase them and request for recordings so I can upload later on YouTube. So yeah, that will be everything for today on the Secretary Mentorship wrap up. So if you're looking forward to joining the next cohort of the Secretary Mentorship, feel free to join us on Slack, and we are looking forward to seeing you. So, without any other thing, I would like to call it a day. Have fun, folks. Thanks for joining.